Welcome back to Recoup. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. I'm Sweets. This is Sid, and today is our midweek check-in where we talk about what we've been working on and what we're going to finish up with for the rest of this week. Jumping into the breaking news of today, we now support email. The email client now supports emails coming from any email client. Before it was Gmail only. Sid had found using Superhuman that Superhuman emails were not preserving the conversation thread, and they were creating new conversations every time and forgetting stuff that happened in the past. That has now been fixed. Sid has already tested it. And Sid, what's been your experience on the updated ability for any client to work with our email client?
Good. It works.
It works. You heard it here first. The other new big release is yesterday I tried the Ralph Wiggum method to build out developable. Actually, Sid, would you mind sharing screen and going to developers.recoupable.com? I took a little tangent. This was not one of the priorities we had set at the top of the week. This was me trying to figure out how I could use Ralph Wiggum to start actually building bigger things. And so I took this as an opportunity to build out developers.recoupable.com. Our current doc stack on docs.recoupable.com are built on Vox. These docs are built on Mintlify, which is the same that Resend uses and a lot of other companies use. Have you already seen this, Sid? Do you have any initial thoughts or questions about developers.recoupable.com?
Initial thoughts is it looks a lot more professional. I love the copy page. So yeah.
The drop down beside copy page.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, awesome.
The biggest benefit for me, also you got your light and dark toggle. I know how much you like your light and dark up top. The biggest benefit for me is the API reference tab.
Fun.
So if you click on get tasks, for example, what we didn't have before is a try it button. And so like a space heater needed to figure out how to use our API and actually go somewhere else. Now Sid clicks try it. It opens up a pop-up. He puts his API key in right there. Would you mind continuing to go through this? Open up chat.recoupable.com on another tab. chat.recoupable.com/keys. And now can you create a new key? Just call it delete. We're just going to use this temporarily.
Oh, wait, but let me put this in a different.
Yeah, put it somewhere you don't mind. We will be exposing this. That's fine. You wrote delete on it so that after this call, you immediately delete it.
Yeah.
Copy the key and take that back into your docs. Click the try it button.
Well, there's not going to be any tasks, but oh wait, maybe there was. Let me see.
And now click send. And here's all your tasks.
Nice.
Now, if you...
Wait, is this yours?
These are my tasks. So it looks like this might actually, and this is a benefit because you can try this right here. You can see how our APIs are responding. Whereas before it might have been harder for you to try some of these endpoints. Now you can try it right here and see what is the data we're returning back to our customers. And is it what we want to be returning to our customers? It looks like right now we're just, when you get tasks, you're getting all tasks, not even just tasks that you have. So we're getting tasks across everybody, which is why the data is not formatted correct. Can you copy the ID of any one of those tasks? So with massive amounts of data, it looks like it loses some formatting. Copy the ID of one of the tasks. First one's one of mine, that's fine. And then put that in the ID field. And then send it again. And then you'll see if it's a more manageable amount of data, it formats it for you. And now you've got, if you want to copy this request down in your curl right below, you can right below the response, you can change that drop down to whatever your language is on the right. And it's going to give you coding outputs exactly, including your error token, copy and paste it, put it in your code base. All this is automatically consumable by LLMs. The goal of this is making our docs automatically work with the API to make it easier for record labels and their dev teams to be building on top of the stack that we're building.
I like it. I like it. And did we just find a bug in tasks?
You might have just found a bug in tasks that we should be filtering when you put in the API key to only give back tasks that are associated with your account. Right now, we have that account ID field down below. So if you don't, yes, we have found a missing piece in our API that is exposing data that we don't want exposed.
Sweet.
Goal is to deprecate docs.recoupable.com, the Vox, get rid of that code base and fully replace it with this, and eventually move this into docs.recoupable.com. The question I have for you is I didn't want to just do that without talking to you about it. So this is me first talking to you about it. And instead of just talking to you about the idea, I was like, let me Ralph Wiggum this and see if I can get it fully working with our branding and everything in one day. And Ralph was just running for hours and it got this working at the end of it.
And then is that when you text me, you're like, I'm a fan of Ralph.
I'm a fan of this. This was the task that I was able to get Ralph to work, and I liked it. And I was like, okay, I see it now.
And how long did it take you to create the PRD?
The PRD took 5 minutes.
Okay, crazy.
It was the shortest part. Ralph ran for hours after I spent 5 minutes on a PRD, and the PRD was inside of my mono repo. I said, hey, here's an example PRD. Please fill in the PRD with step-by-step what needs copied from the Vox repo over to this Mintlify repo so that it has the same API endpoints. And then it then filled in task by task all the API endpoints that needed to get copied over. And then Ralph started running. And then while Ralph was running, Ralph then goes task by task, get picked, okay, this API endpoint needs copied. Let me find it in Vox, copy it over to Mintlify, run some tests to verify that it was worked, make a single commit, next iteration, mark it as done, pick the next task, do that. And then while it was going, I was reviewing the pull requests that it had opened and I was testing it on the preview deployment. And then I would see something like, for example, the homepage had a whole bunch of extra docs. And so then I opened up another Claude and then I said, add a task to the PRD to remove the example endpoints from this. And so then on each iteration, it then has new tasks that I'm throwing in. And so then I'm just chucking tasks into the backlog and it is sorting the task based off of priority and picking them. And so by the time it finished hours later, I had already told it, copy the logo in the top left from the Recoup chat repo, have the dashboard button in the top right, link to chat.recoupable.com. It initially put support. If you click on support, it sends an email to support@recoupable.com. I told it to send it to agent@recoupable.com. And so now it's a fully finished, no template branding in there. It looks like Recoup at the end. And I was just chucking tasks into the backlog. And
it was an engineer on your team. And you were
an engineer on my team.
It was an engineer on your team.
Yep.
That feeling, Sweets, what you just experienced, we want to give to every artist and record label for their tasks, not developer tasks. But like Ralph Wiggum, PRD, how does Recoup create PRDs? How do we know what, like I go back to the marketing thing, that like the marketing document, like we have a list of things that needs to get done and it validate and say complete, like artist bio, pitches, campaign stuff, like, and it could just run that shit in the background and then text message whoever the stakeholder is, hey, by the way, you didn't do this. Hey, by the way, we need this. Like that right there is the win. So you're setting up the system right now with email, with SMS, with Slack. If on the same side in parallel, it's like we are building out that system so Ralph can run and flag if something's true or not true. And we just need to get really opinionated on what needs to be true, like, or not true, you know? And that is our moat, is our opinion on what needs to be true and what needs to be not true for this shit to work. But I fucking love it. I'm glad you used Ralph Wiggum again to try it and are starting to see like where it wins. Where I've been running into issues with Ralph is that because of like more vibe coded and my just like the way that I work, I'm more explorer, experimental. I'm like figuring things out on the go. I'm like asking questions and then it's responding. I'm like, okay, well, let's try that. And so Ralph, I've tried it a couple times and like I run into the issue where the PRD, I don't know what I don't know. So it's hard to write a PRD where I'm like, this is exactly what I need. Right.
Right.
And I feel like I represent most independent artists where like without somebody telling me what the plan, what is the strict requirements, like Ralph is, it's tough to run. But like on little things, it's easy to run. But yeah. Anyways.
This was a big this was a big I'm seeing it the best is for the bigger migrations. I'm gonna next use this to finish up our migration, moving /API/chat and /API/chat/generate from the chat repo over to our API repo. Do you have any other questions, thoughts, or pushback on me migrating this at the end of the month and deprecating docs.recoupable.com in favor of the new Mintlify docs?
No. Go for it.
Where I'm working on now, I tried to start today by making it so that tasks show up in my recent chats, because that's something that is missing. I hit a blocker when my chat still is not working. So if I go to chat, chat
really?
just doesn't work for me. And I found that yesterday when I sent Sid, hey, chat's not working for me. And then Sid said it was working for him. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not, maybe it's just me. And then today I tried to fire the task so that I could get it. And then I got the same error, auth config not found. And so I spent this morning trying to debug what's going on there. And so far what I've come to, and I agree, it seems like there's something in Composio. We are missing a variable in Composio, or Composio is throwing a missing item. And now I still don't know what happened. So I wanted to just ask you, did you change any of I looked at your pull request and it still looks like your pull request for the new Google admin, Google super stuff has not been merged to prod. When you were writing that, did you change any environment variables, or have you modified any of the Composio config files in production in Vercel environment? Yes.
I did. Because I accidentally deleted the Google Sheets auth ID in Composio on the front, or on the Composio dashboard. So I remade it and I updated it, but I updated it in Vercel. So it should be working.
Did you redeploy production after you added it?
I mean, it works for me.
I have seen that it works for you, and I don't know why it works for you.
Maybe it's are you on prod?
Yeah, I'm on prod right now. Chat.recoupable.com. And everybody's tasks are also failing. And when I go to runs, we probably shouldn't be marking these as complete, but all of them are getting chat API errors, all the tasks that are running right now. So my current thinking is Sid is the only one where it's working. And I don't know why it's working for you.
Go to stop sharing, or when we're done with stream, I can show you what I did, and we can just show some environment variables.
So this is what I need to fix right now, is get this to work, and then once I get chat working again, I will go back to getting tasks, so that the tasks that I've written down today is I'm going to get tasks so that they show up in recent chats. Tasks should have the original prompt saved to memory, so that if you get the email and you go back to visit that conversation, you see the original prompt that triggered the task. Emails in the footer should have the artist name or the workspace name that is associated with this email thread. And then I'm doing bigger architectural things in the background, continuing the migration of the chat. And I'm also liking what you sent yesterday of building our own coding agent. And I want to start building a sandbox and an agent to play in that sandbox, so that we can just start tagging it on Slack, and I can start to get Sid out of his own coding environment and into more, a customer's asking for this, I'm just going to type into Slack, it's going to open up a PR and start getting a coding agent that's working for us and getting us more into a builder mindset, and allowing anybody to cook on the features, and having our coding agent know all the rules, know all the code bases, so that I don't have to worry if Sid's using Cursor or not. our coding agent follows all of my rules. And so the pull request and review process is going to get faster. And I can start to use that more instead of Cloud Code.
Yeah. I like it. And just having all the rules and everything there so that even any PR I ship, I can go to the coding agent. Like if I'm in Cursor cooking, I can just send it to the whatever you build, and then that can be the fucking thing that like checks to see if everything does the review before it gets to you.
Right. And then anytime I have a piece of feedback, we just add it to the rules so that next time there's less back and forth between us and more code looks
I also
good.
like it because it'll like set you up to understand VM and see like where can we implement it into Recoup in general on the front
outside
end.
of coding tasks.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. All right, cool. I like it.
So that's it for me. Tossing it over to you.
Right now, I'm just sending over the MSA. Or I have my list right here. Sending over the MSA, updating your. I have like 10 artists I need to add to Fat Beats that they requested. I'm realizing that like when there's bulk artists requests, our system, while it's great to do one artist and it gets it done, like when there's 10, it doesn't the user doesn't intuitively know that they can just open up a new tab and do it over and do it over and over. So they're asking me like, hey, can you set this up? And so figuring out like, oh, like you don't need to switch tabs in order to like have multiple chats running, I think is a big thing that's blocking people from doing things themselves instead of asking me to do it. And then other than that, I need to fix that PR for Composio so that we can ship the router stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, those are my big things. Oh, and then the other thing is that I had a call with somebody the other day talking about like it was actually a really great call about like creating a Pokey for music recommendations. So like right now, Pokey like will like text me in the morning and say it's gonna rain in Washington D.C. today. Get your weather up. Like just fun. Like it knows I'm in Washington, or it'll say like, hey, you have a meeting today, whatever. Like little pings, which is great. And they were like, yo, if we have the customer log in through Spotify instead of Gmail, then we get all of their listening data, and then we can give them recommendations. Like if yo, you're about to go on a jog, why don't you listen to this based on your history? Like, right, or just like a cool recommendation. So anyways, I was like, that's a great idea. That's cool. And like, we already have a login with Spotify tool that we have. It's just, we haven't touched it in a while. So we might need to like revisit it to see if it's up to date and it works. Cause I think we're getting that red button of like, you know, or like when you log in before, it's like a big red like error. So fix that shit. So I want to fix that so that we can like start playing around with this like login. We have login with Spotify or login with Apple Music, capture all of that data, but we're not using that in any of our current system. And I feel like it's like a powerful thing to have. So figuring out how to like at least get it reworking, and then how can we leverage it in our stack. But yeah, those are the big things. All right. Ta-da.
Thank you all for tuning in.